Hello everyone. We are nearing the end of the basic mechanics that we would need to create this game. At the end of this game, I would like there to be some sort of key code or puzzle that needs to be interacted with to be able to solve and escape this freighter ship that we're trying to escape in the game. So I need this last mechanic basically to be we input a couple of values into some sort of user interface, and if we get the correct values, it will cut over to a cutscene where we can see an escape pod basically disappear. If we put in the wrong code, it will spit back at us, hey, it's the wrong code, and then reset itself to wait for the input of another code. So there's a couple things we're going to need in this scene. To start off, we're going to need a keypad. We're going to need something to be a placeholder for our escape pod. And we can work on these things from here. So the first thing I'll do is I'll create the escape pod placeholder, and as usual I'll just use a bunch of cubes here. So I created a cube, and I'm going to move this down onto our plane here, and I'll move it out here. I'll make it a little bit larger, and I'm just going to move it down so that it is right on top of our plane. I'm going to duplicate this cube, and I'm going to make a larger one that sits on top of this thing. Like this, okay? And this one's going to have a rigid body attached, because I'll just make it fall through the floor when it activates the right key code. So I'm going to go to physics, and then rigid body. Alright, so what I can do here is I can name this one escape pod. And this other cube, I will call this stand. Alright, so the next thing we're going to need in this is some sort of user interface. I'm just going to use the Unity UI to display this user interface. It'll display right over the screen when we set it active. So to create this user interface, we're going to need a canvas. So I'm going to go to UI, and I'm going to create a panel. And I'll select this canvas, and I want this canvas to scale with screen size. Okay, and I'm just going to zoom out here in my scene view so I can get a better view of it here and be able to start placing this stuff around. So I'm going to start off with the panel. I'll take this panel, and I don't want it set to stretch. I'll set it to center, and that'll give me a width and a height. And I should be able to take the width and the height values of this and make this a little bit smaller. Alright, so I've got my panel here, and if you want to make it a little bit more opaque, you could jump right into the color, and where did the color go? Jump into the color here, and in the color slider increase the alpha to make it a bit more opaque if you'd like it to be a bit more opaque. Alright, so I've got that panel created. It's going to need a couple of components with it, so I'm going to click on the plus button and then UI. We are going to need a TextMesh Pro object, so I'll add the TextMesh Pro here. I'm going to change the position of this somewhat so that it appears here, and inside of here I'm just going to change this text to say enter code. I also want to make it smaller, so 36 font is a bit big, and I probably want to, well, maybe don't want to center it because it's going to be interactively adding the code to the screen here. So I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, and the color, I don't know, do we want to do something a little bit more fun here? Maybe make it green. Okay, so I've got enter code, and that's our text that's going to appear when we start putting in numbers. Next thing we're going to need is some buttons to represent our numbers. To do that, I'm going to go to our plus button with the UI selected and create a Text Mesh Pro button. And I'm actually going to want to reduce the width of this considerably. And the text that's on the button, I just want to put a number for now. So I'll put the number 1. And I can actually take this one here now, collapse the button, and we're going to create a horizontal group layout. And the easiest way to do that is to go to plus UI, and we're just going to create an object for now. It's an image, but I'll call this H group. And I'm going to remove the image component from this because we're not going to need it. And we're going to add a component, and if you type in the search horizontal layout group, this will set up our layout group. And what we could then do is drag the number button into this, and once the number button is inside of this, we can duplicate this 2 more times. So we've got 2 more numbers, and what I'll do is I'll change the text on these to be 2. And on the third one, it'll be 3. Okay, so we got 1, 2, and 3. All right, now what I could do is I could duplicate these 3 more times. So I go to duplicate, duplicate, and duplicate. And what I should be able to do now is take these 3 groups and put them in a vertical layout group. So what I'll do is I'll select up here, go to UI, create another image. I will remove the image component first from this, and I will call this V group for the vertical group. And I'll add the component for a vertical layout group to this. And I'll take all of the H groups and drag and drop them into the V group, which you can see it organizes them nicely here. And what I could do now is select the V group and reduce the spacing to kind of bring these together. Cool. So now what I want to do is I want to change the text on each of the rows here. So I'm going to go in, and this is going to be 4. This one's going to be 5. This one is going to be 6. And I can collapse these. This one is going to open up, and we are going to have 7, 8, and 9. So 7, 8, and 9. And then the last one here, we're going to have one for 0, right? And the rest of these 2 can go away. I can delete this one and this one. And I can change the text on this button to 0. And what I might want to do is take this button out of the horizontal layout group. Oh, which probably was a bad idea the way I just did that. So I could delete this group, collapse this one, and I've got this last button here. And I'm pretty sure... Oh, actually, maybe I did want to keep that in the group. So I'm going to go back, put that back into the group. And if I select the group here, I can set the padding on the left and right. So I can set the padding here so that this one is right underneath the 8. It looks like 36 is the number. There we go. Then I could take this entire vertical group and move its X position and Y position wherever I would like it to be. So now we get a keypad. Cool keypad to enter in our code. So now that we have the keypad created, what we could do now is start scripting this thing. So I think what we're going to start off with, actually, oh, there's one more piece that I need. So I don't want this key code to just be visible the entire time. I want something to be able to toggle it on and off, right? So what I'm going to do is just going to hide this canvas, and you could rename this canvas Keypad UI. And I'm just going to hide it for now. And let's zoom back over to our level. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another cube. And this is going to be basically like a thing that our player can walk up to that will make the keypad visible. Okay, so I'm going to rescale this. This should be a placeholder for like where the keypad would be. I'm going to move it up a bit, duplicate this, move it out, scale this down. So this is going to be the actual button on the keypad. And I think I've got some materials here. I'm going to drag a red material onto that button just so that it's there. And this particular guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a trigger. And I'm going to make this trigger a bit larger so that when our player enters this trigger, the keypad will become visible. Alright, cool. So I've got a trigger there. The next thing we'll do is we'll start setting this stuff active. So I think we'll do that first. So let's create a script here in our scripts folder. And we're going to call this, let's call it Keypad Trigger. Keypad Trigger. And we could have all types of conditions. Like this thing, we can make it so it doesn't pop up unless you have certain items and all sorts of stuff like that. But we'll keep it pretty basic for this prototype type of demo level that we're creating here. So the next thing we will do is I will jump into the class here and create a game object reference for the keypad. So what we'll do is we will say public game object, and we'll call this keypad UI. Alright, so now that we have the keypad UI available, basically we just have a trigger here, so we can get rid of the start and update functions. I'll add an on trigger enter and an on trigger exit. And change these to call as usual. You don't have to change them to call, I just I'm so used to doing that now. And what we'll do is we'll say if call.gameObject.tag is equal to player, we will then make the keypad visible. So we'll say keypad UI dot set active, and then we'll set it to true. And we could do this for the exit when we exit the trigger and set it to false. So now when we enter and leave, we can make it visible and invisible. Alright, so looking at this, we need to put this script onto our keypad, which is here. So I should probably organize this a little bit better. I'll call this Keypad BTN. And then this will be keypad stand. And I'll drag the button into this, and I will put our script onto this button, so the keypad trigger will go onto the button. Alright. The script is here. All we need now is to drag and drop the keypad UI here. And I believe this should do the job. So let's walk up to it. And when we walk, you see how the code gets entered. If I hit escape on the keyboard, I can go in and start clicking on these different buttons here. Cool. All right, so getting back to it, we want to now program our keypad so that it actually operates like a keypad. Now what we're going to do is create a new script for this. So we'll call this script Keypad Script. So create script, call this Keypad Script, and let's open up the Keypad Script. And we'll start this off by creating a couple of variables that we're going to need. The first is going to be a string for the password. So we'll say public string, and this will be for the password. And this will be available in the inspector. They can make the password whatever they want. The next one will be storing whatever the player enters as the password. So this is going to be another public string. So I actually just duplicate this line. And we'll call this entered PW. And I'm going to leave it public so that we can see what the player enters here. So entered PW. The next thing that we're going to add is the text for the display. So you know how we have that display in the keypad? This is going to be the display for that. Now we're using the Text Mesh Pro, so we need to say using inside of the namespace here. So using, that's not how you spell using TM, that's YM, T, keeps for some Y, TM Pro. There we go. So that's using Text Mesh Pro, which we installed in an earlier lesson. So you got to make sure you install that package if you're going to use Text Mesh Pro. And what we should do from here now is be able to make a TMP Pro variable here. So we'll say text, or is it TMP Pro? Yep, TMP Pro, and if I scroll down here, we should see there will be text. There we go. And we will call this Keypad Display. So and we'll drag that into this as well. Alright, so we've got the Keypad Display created. The next would be an integer for our digits that we're passing into a function. So we'll create another public int, and we'll call this pass digits. Next thing would be a reference to the escape pod and the escape pod stand. So we'll say public escape public game object. I'm sorry, these are going to be game objects, and this is going to be escape pod, and then I'm going to duplicate this, and this is going to be escape pod stand. Alright, so we've got the escape pod and the escape pod stand. And I think that's it for now. I think that's all we're going to have to do for now. We're going to have to add a couple of variables for some cameras, but we don't have the cameras set up just yet. Alright, so at the start, we're going to take whatever the password digits are here and set its length. Set it to whatever the length of the password is. So basically what pass digits is going to do is store how many actual digits are supposed to be in the password. So we'll say pass digits is going to be equal to password dot length. So we're checking for the length of the string here. The next thing would be the keypad text. So we'll say keypad display dot text and set this equal to what we want it to say. So it'll be enter code, even though we already have it saying that. Enter code. All right. Then in the update, what we'll do is actually maybe not the update. Let's before we work on the update, what we need to do is get the button presses working. So we're going to need a couple of functions for that. So right below the update, what we'll do is we will create a function for button number. So let's see, we'll call this a public. These have to be public because they're going to be assigned to buttons. So a public void, because this is not going to be returning any data. We'll call this button number. And we're going to create another function here. And this is going to be for enter code. Alright, so I've got button number, I've got enter code here. In button number, we're going to pass to this string. And the string is going to be btn num for the button number. And inside of here, what we'll do is we'll create a string. And this will be num pressed, and we'll set this equal to btn num. Next, we will call enter code. Oops. Enter code, and this is supposed to be void. I forgot the void here. Void public. I'm doing this public void enter code, and what we're going to do is pass this a string, and this is going to be key entered. And we'll pass to this whatever num pressed is. Actually, now I think about it, I don't even think I need this string. So we'll do that. Alright, so inside of enter code, what we'll do is we're going to append the entered password. So we're going to say entered password plus equals, and we'll add to this whatever the key entered is that we're passing into the function. There we go. And then from there, we will then tell the keypad display to start showing the numbers. So keypad display dot text will equal the entered password. Alright, so where we're at with this, we can start setting up our buttons. And in the update, what we'll do is we'll put in the logic to check to see if they've entered the correct password. I'm going to save this, and let's set up our keypad just so that it starts working here. So I'm going to turn the keypad UI back on so that we don't have to go to the trigger to test this. And I'm going to open up the horizontal groups here, and I'm going to take the keypad script and I'm just going to drag it onto the canvas here. So the keypad script is on the canvas. We can start dragging in some of the values here. So I could take the stand and the escape pod and add those values. The keypad display, that's going to be this text here. As a matter of fact, I might as well call this display. And if I go back to the canvas, I can drag in the display here. That'll give us access to that to be able to write that. Now we're going to need a password. I'm going to call the password 54321. And then the enter password we can leave blank. All right, so now that we have the script in there, I've opened up the horizontal groups with each of the buttons here. And what we could do is we can select the buttons. I'm going to do these 3 at a time. And down here in the button component is the on-click event. So when we click on this, we can make it call a specific function. We're going to need to add the keypad UI to this, which is the canvas, to where it says object, right? Because this object is what's hosting our keypad script. And if we go into Keypad Script, we should see a function for button number. Okay, and in this is an open value, right? And this open value is letting us know what number each of these is assigned to. So this is 1, 2, and 3. So we'll go in here and type in 1. Go into here and type in 2. Go into here and type in 3. And I'll do the same thing for this button, this row of buttons here. I'll add the event, drag and drop the keypad UI, go to the keypad script, add button number, and this is going to be 4, 5, and 6. So I'm selecting each one, adding the numbers. Okay, and if you want, you can actually grab the rest of these. So I'm going to grab these, control click to get into the other group, add the event, drag and drop the keypad UI, go to the keypad script, grab the button number function, and what we want to do here is label these inside of here. So this is going to be 7, this is going to be 8, this is going to be 9, and this is going to be 0. Okay, so I think that's everything we need for this. If I hit the play button now and hit escape, so my mouse comes up, and press 1. Oh, it's not letting me click on the buttons. Let's see here. For now, I think what I'm going to do is add in a new camera and shut off the player controller temporarily. So shut this off, hit play. So I'm going to have to enable the mouse here. But you can see I can type in numbers and it just goes on forever. That's because we don't have any logic tied into this just yet. So I think what we'll do here is we're going to remove this camera first, and I think I'm going to try to toggle the cursor lock mode. So I'm going to delete this camera that we just created to test out this and turn the player controller back on. And I think in our keypad script we can probably add this. Let's jump into our keypad script, and in the update let's create an if condition here, and what we'll do here is we'll check to see if input dot get key is escape. Actually, I probably do this off of the key code. Keycode.escape. So if the input is the get key keycode.escape and cursor lock mode dot locked, or actually I'm sorry, cursor lock state. So let's do cursor dot lock state equals cursor lock mode dot locked. Then what we'll do is basically we'll say cursor.lockState is going to equal cursor lock mode dot none. And then I think we should do the rest in else if. And we'll basically check this again. And we'll say none. What we will do is set this to locked. Whoops, not none. There we go, dot locked. Alright, so let's save this. Head back to Unity again, and I'm going to shut off. No, I'm going to leave the escape, the keypad UI on. And we're in play mode, and then I hit escape, and there we go. Now I can click the buttons, and if I hit escape again, and then click, it will make the keypad disappear. Alright, cool. So that allows us to interact with the buttons. Next we need to add the logic for the keypad. So I'm going to do that in a separate video now that we have all of these pieces set up. So make sure you save your file. So I'm going to save it, and I'll see you in the next video.